Alright, here we go. This is a custom 1v1 on Duel between the red player in the left-hand corner, Giott, and the Black Ops Bomber, and his opponent, the blue player in the bottom right-hand corner, mrnoone1 in the Black Ops Striker. Black Ops versus Black Ops Bomber versus Striker. Both mechs have melee. So that is a little bit interesting. I do want to note that on Duel, the palette has been swapped to Veil-looking palette, so this jungle palette. But the problem is there has been a lot of glitches on this map as of late, and I know that a lot still exist now. It's like there, there's like certain like black holes or something like that where units just disappear, or there are some where units kind of teleport from like one area to another kind of thing. mrnoone1 doing. Okay, pretty much standard moneymaker builds here. We have a Seeker out for Giott for defense. He's going straight for harass, but mrnoone1 with a Seeker immediately will force Giott right out of there. Definitely is going to be able to keep his moneymakers alive, and Giott's not going to be able to do too much about this. Now mrnoone1 moving his Seeker to the outpost that Giott has decided to go attack, and might be finished off. No, not going to be finished off in the air, as mech air-to-air attack still is really low. To be honest, I don't personally like that. I know a lot of people don't either, but you know, it has been that was changed quite a while ago, kind of with the intent on helping you know, newer players not get super frustrated by dying so much, and that frequently did happen in the air. mrnoone with two Jackals here harassing at Giott's close. Giott forced to get that moneymaker out there, but as nothing is out here on the field to defend for Giott, mrnoone was able to kill that one moneymaker. And if Giott doesn't immediately rebuild, it will probably be worth the trip, and might be able to finish off the second moneymaker. Okay, no, he will be able to get this one, though. I doubt Giott. Okay, yeah. So 2 moneymakers for the cost of 2 Jackals. Will this be the end of his harass? No, he gets a third. So, and Giott not queuing up moneymakers to replace it. He's just queuing up more, you know, actual army, army attacking units. And still not queuing up more moneymakers. Does send a couple Longhorn from his close outpost, probably on attack, and will probably switch them to hold position or pick them up one at a time and micro them to hold position. Giott does have level 1, let's see, yes, level 1 bombs, and mrnoone has level 1 sword. You know, once again, since the mechanic has been changed to needing to spend abilities, or spend points for abilities instead of, oh, and he actually set this on capture. Set all those units on capture, so they will start to, well, he's manually moving them. Oh, and he's kind of retreating them back as well. Oh, might go down. No, does not get finished off there. A little bit dangerous to just hover there and start microing, because there are 2 Seekers, you know, protecting this mid at Duel. I believe there are 2 Seekers. Yeah, one on each, one on the left, one on the right. But mrnoone1 has, you know, pretty good composition of units here. A couple of honeypots out to protect his, or to support his Longhorn and Seekers. And Giott looks like he is just going to try to bomb what he can. And, you know, did briefly have that outpost under his control, and now coming out with some artillery. mrnoone doing the exact same thing, but Giott with Buckies under his control. You know, he has Buckies in his loadout as opposed to mrnoone with Busters and Longhorns, so Buckies definitely have that range advantage. And if this stays as the leapfrogs, you know, sitting here kind of battle, I do see that Giott, I would predict that Giott would have a much easier time, especially since these artillery are not really as great as they used to be anymore. And mrnoone with Longhorn over here, and it still requires quite a lot of micro. Oh, but almost getting Giott finished off in the air before he gets back to that post. That was really close. If this was, you know, from a couple patches ago, mrnoone would definitely have been able to finish him off with the, you know, air-to-air missiles that typically comes with the Striker in the previous builds, but did send some Jackals out here to distract Giott. Oh, all 4 of those moneymakers are gone, and so now Giott coming out with some Longhorn. Is he moving them out? No, those are not set on any command, so they will just sit there. But Longhorn does finish off mrnoone on the ground, and so this will give Giott a little bit of a. But you know that those Jackals are so distracting. Just drops that Longhorn. You don't really have to worry too much about Jackals damaging your fort, and you know, Giott does just that. Just dropping 1 Longhorn, not gonna try to body block or, you know, stay there and kill them to make sure that that damage, you know, damage sound goes away. But mrnoone, oh no, I thought he reassigned it or something like that to capture. But Giott bombing here will probably win this mid fight. Does even have already 1 artillery and Buckies. Really super, you know, definitely wanted to have a good mid fight loadout. Oh, but does get finished off in the air by mrnoone. The Hunter Seeker getting the last kill, but mrnoone doing all that damage, getting that finish on Giott in the air. And I probably would have been able to do it without the Hunter Seekers, I'm assuming, as well. So now we have mrnoone trying to move up here with a Buster and a Longhorn. Giott is back to the fight. Oh, is going to set these on capture. So what is mrnoone carrying? I think that was another Longhorn, but it was just the wrong color. Oh, no, that was a Seeker, I think. Or was it a honeypot? I'm not sure. That glitched out. Couldn't see what was in his cargo. But now Giott moving out with Longhorn. This will probably do the job. mrnoone doesn't actually have too much here to defend. And Giott might even want to move his back units out as well. mrnoone now trying to sort it down, all these Longhorn down. Actually killing quite a lot, to be honest. Giott leaving the battle for just a second pretty much allowed mrnoone to kill the majority of those pushing Longhorns, honestly. He was there to, to shoot and to do his sword. And that was enough for most of those Longhorns to go down. Now we are pretty much back in even battle. mrnoone trying to leapfrog these Longhorn up so he can actually approach that unit cluster that Giott has. But Giott now putting an artillery over here, so it will fire all on this side that mrnoone is starting to move his units up on. Starting to leapfrog up, on. Okay, that doesn't actually work. Makes sense. But mrnoone, not able to finish off that Longhorn. Giott repositioning it. Might be finished off in the air here. Yes, he does get killed in the air by Giott. So now Giott gonna kind of be free to bomb here, moving in circles to avoid those Seeker missiles. So that is one technique that a lot of new players don't really know about or utilize. So if you move, a moving mech always avoids Seeker missiles. That's a fact. I'm pretty sure even the slowest mech, which is the in the air, I'm pretty sure that also still avoids Seeker missiles. As long as it's moving, as long as it's not firing, just straight up movement will completely avoid getting hit by Seeker missiles. You can always outrun missiles in the air, unless they're Striker or Helix missiles trying to fire at you in the air. Helix missiles, I'm talking about the air-to-air ultimate type ability that they have right now. That's probably going to be temporary. But I don't really see that being the same ability as the Striker. It doesn't really make that much sense to me. Now Giott coming with a Longhorn to the front corner, and mrnoone not responding quite yet. Does definitely hear that sound, but prioritizing on that mid fight. And honestly, Giott might. Okay, now does drop that Longhorn on a Moneymaker. Actually, going to be able to finish off that Moneymaker, and it will actually fire into the fort when it's done killing that Moneymaker. Oh no, it was not set on attack, was just set on hold position, so it did reallocate its fire to those creeps. But I do think Giott definitely has the advantage here. He has a credit advantage and a unit number advantage, unit count advantage. And mrnoone grabbing the box. Oh, so he will be getting a pretty good credit boost here. That is 20,000. That will help him. Has the other box been grabbed? mrnoone does grab that box as well. Oh, and now Giott does take it, or force him to drop it. And mrnoone a little bit misfiring. Oh, Giott getting. Oh my God, Giott not able to heal at that outpost and get barely finished off by mrnoone. I think I could have sworn he was healing just a little bit, but I think he paused or something like that to try to sell that box off, and mrnoone was able to get that kill before he was able to get healed up. So now Giott moving up as well, does have a full queue of Longhorn. mrnoone has a pretty darn full queue as well, 4 out of 5, queuing up 1 honeypot, trying to come out with a more balanced, more balanced unit composition versus Giott just spanning Longhorns at this point. I don't know if moving in would be a good decision, but now going to drop some creeps, probably going to try to drop Longhorn out of his queue right immediately. Oh, but really low on health, not going to be finished off by mrnoone, but because he was so low on health, did not allow him to bring those Longhorn out very quickly at all, and the outpost will go down to neutral, but Giott was able to actually take all of the Longhorn out of his build queue and finish off mrnoone on the way out. mrnoone getting a little bit too units that mrnoone has, or mrnoone might be able to, recreate a good unit cluster with some artillery, but no, Giott does move out, and I would assume as that bomber, he could probably just land and kill them all. Yes, now he does land, starts to slash some stuff up. mrnoone trying to retreat back to his close, bringing those units right back. Giott moving out. No, he does not move out. He is. Oh, there's no more energy left on that outpost, so, that's one of the reasons now that you see people spam healing units, because you can't just micro units up to heal them anymore, because your outpost runs out of energy ever since version 2 rules took over. So now you do see a lot of ratchet spam, but not right now, not in this game. You see a couple honeypots out from mrnoone1, but definitely not going to be the same as ratchet spam would typically be. Giott now does have an artillery and a couple of buckies firing at this unit cluster that mrnoone1 has. And will it actually do the job? mrnoone1 barely healing up that moneymaker. But yeah, we do have a couple of artillery firing into mrnoone1's unit cluster. mrnoone1 trying to position this as far as he possibly can from the artillery and the buckies. They're definitely out of the bucky range, but the artillery are still firing in. I really wish you could like click this or hover over it and see the range indicator in the life or something like that. That would be a wish list item of mine for spectate mode. And mrnoone1 dropping some patrolling jackals, gonna definitely be confusing those artillery and gonna allow him to mass up his numbers and get closer to that unit cap, as Giott is not actually really spending his money. Okay, now does queue up a couple of Longhorn, but still has 22k in the bank and 2 build queue slots open with 20 unit cap to spare, so I'm not really sure why he isn't just spamming. Okay, now he does fill his... Okay, my headset just got out there. I apologize, guys. My headset, probably have to buy a new one. But yeah, he does have he kind of hesitated to start building units, and at this point, mrnoone1 and Giott are pretty much at the same unit cap at this point. Whereas earlier, maybe just a minute or so ago, Giott was way ahead just because he was able to finish off a lot of mrnoone1's units. So what's happening now is Giott kind of allowed mrnoone1 to catch up on the unit count. So even though that Giott has a larger unit cap, mrnoone1, is going to be able to hit his unit cap first and might. I don't know, it depends. It depends on how he wants to approach it. And now Giott able to finish off some socket units. Nothing getting replaced by either of these players. These moneymakers still dead. These 2 moneymakers still dead. Giott trying to bomb down this, whatever he could, but did get finished by plenty of Hunter Seekers sitting over there from mrnoone1. And a couple of buckies are in range of these Longhorn. Giott did micro a couple of them to the front, so they are actually firing in. But those honeypots stationed over there will probably be able to, for the most part, keep up with the damage that the buckies are dealing, because buckies' accuracy are so low, so they are missing with pretty much more than half of their missiles. And now Giott coming out with flamers. I'm not really sure what he's going to try to do there. He might try to go with a close outpost cheese, but only does have 3 flamers in his in his cargo, because you can only pretty much carry 3 at lower levels. Actually might be able to carry 4. No, probably not. That looks like a little bit less than a quarter left there. But now Giott using those flamers to harass, dropping them there. He did. Okay, he's not going to be able to finish. Oh god, he's going to be able to get that moneymaker kill, isn't he? No, the soldier, bunkered soldier, does finish it off, and Giott with no infantry, with this completely undefended, neutralized outpost. So that is a little strange. He does have a couple of moneymakers coming out on the field to finally replace the ones he had, but mrnoone1 now going unit crazy, going to send out everything he has. This is pretty much an all-in. This outpost getting retaken by his creeps, but now mrnoone1 moving in with all these Longhorn. Let's see how effective this is. I don't know. This defender's advantage might still be, dramatically in Giott's favor, but mrnoone1 actually sending this on attack and not capture. All these units over here have been pretty much finished off, but mrnoone1's push is going right past the mid. Giott getting killed there momentarily, so I don't know how effective this is going to be. It's probably going to be pretty effective. It's been able to completely bypass this mid, and Giott has no units coming out. Oh no, he does. He has a couple Longhorn, but the question is, will this be enough? Will mrnoone1 actually reassign this to capture? That's the question. I don't know. You see, it's possible that this might not finish the fort, but if you reassign these units to capture command, he does go down now. But if you reassign those units to capture command, he might have... Oh, Giott actually did a counter send. Oh my god, I completely missed that. But we do have a Longhorn push out here for Giott as well. So this is quite a base race, and all Giott's units are pretty much dead. At the fort, mrnoone1 has absolutely nothing here to defend. But look how fast life is going down. Who will win? I think it will be mrnoone1, as he does have a lot of units on the corner and firing in the corner himself. And that is it. GG. mrnoone1 getting this win on Giott, completely going all around his units, bypassing the mid units, as Giott didn't really have too many... Okay, now just took control away from him, but Giott didn't really have too many units there at the mid on the right side to, soften up and finish off the units that were passing by from mrnoone1. A lot of them were concentrated on the left side, because that's kind of how Giott was kind of eventually going to approach it. It did look like he was planning on going that direction, as opposed to pushing, directly up on Mr. No1's outpost on the right side. That kind of allowed Mr. No1 to get past Giott's mid units and get all the way to his fort. Giott did do that counter send, but it was definitely too late. And Mr. No, even though he had significantly more units than Mr. No1, well, not significantly, he had about the same, to be honest. So yeah, it definitely was too late. He had defensive Longhorn there at the fort, but it was not enough to finish him off. Mr. No1 did go down. Giott did not. There was plenty of Seekers to prevent Giott from bombing there. So that was that. So Mr. No1 taking this custom 1v1 win over Giott. I know they played a bunch of times. I don't know the record, but apparently this one was probably the most entertaining of that set that they played. So guys, if you have any replays, send it to me. Send them in the RUI0x@gmail.com or RUI on Steam. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't really ask for it too often, but AirMech is growing. We are eventually going to leave beta sometime pretty soon, and I'm going to try to support it as best I can, and I would appreciate some help, guys, and not only subscribes. That's kind of negligible to me, but if you could figure out how to set up your replays and send in your cool games, I would definitely appreciate it. So, guys, this is RUI, and that is game. See you next time.